Hello and welcome to today's live lesson. Please say hello when you come into the room. So hello from Glasgow and hello from a very sunny day in Glasgow, which is a very nice change because we don't get enough sunshine here at all. So it's nice to see the sun for a change. So please say hello when you come in so I know who's here. And you can tell me where you are as well, which would be nice. Tell me how the weather is where you are. Like I said, it's a nice, beautiful, sunny day here in Glasgow, and we have to enjoy days like that here in Scotland because we don't get enough of them. So please say hello and we will get started. And today's live lesson is a lesson about idioms, and it's idioms related to food. And what I mean by that is actually idioms that have the names of food or drink in them. So it's not about food, but it's idioms where one of the words or one of the parts of the expression has something to do with food or drink. Okay. So before we get started, just a reminder about what idioms are. So, idioms are expressions where the meaning is not that easy to guess just from the words. You have to really know what the expression means in order to use it. Hello from Glasgow. Hi, Maria Jose. Thanks for coming. So you really need to know what the expression itself means to have any chance of understanding it or any chance of being able to use it, because that's what we want to do eventually. So it's important to have context to be able to try to figure out the meaning, because if you just look at the expression itself, then it's going to be quite difficult to understand it. So the expressions that we're going to look at today all, like I said, all include food or drink words, and that's what you have to complete. Okay, so we're going to look at 10 idioms, and I'm going to give you the example sentence with a gap. Hi, Michaela. Thanks for joining us. I hope the weather's nice in Italy, just like here in Scotland. And so you have to complete the sentences with a food or a drink, and that's going to complete the idiom. Okay, and also I'll give you the meaning in brackets and talk to you about the meaning a little bit as well as we go along. Okay, also as we go through these, idioms, it's a nice thing to do is to compare idioms in different languages. Hi Josefa, good afternoon, thank you for joining us. I hope you're enjoying the weather today. And try to compare the idioms with your own language and English as well. That's, it's an interesting discussion, but also it's a good way to remember them. If you can think about something similar in your own language, that helps. So as we do this, as we go through it, feel free to try to put some of how the expressions are in your own language in the chat box, as well as complete the sentences. Okay. So let's get started with the first sentence. So as I said, I'm going to give you the sentence with the meaning and a gap, and the gap is going to be a food stuff. Okay, and I'll talk to you about the meaning of that. Excuse me, mine a little bit sniffy. So here is the first sentence here. He has had a great year, but winning the trophy was really the icing on the something. So the something here is a type of food or a drink. And the meaning we have here is something that makes a good situation even better. So in this situation here, we're talking about sports, and he's had a great year. To think about a player, a tennis player or something like that, who had a really good year, and then he won the trophy, he won the competition, and so he was already having a good year, and this extra thing made it even better. So we say it is the icing on the something. Now, if you're wondering what icing is, I can't tell you. I can't tell you just now anyway, because then I can't explain that to you without giving you the answer, but I will explain icing once we get the answer. So think about the food stuff here that might give this expression. Maybe you have something in your own language like this, maybe not, we'll see, but it's, a good situation and it's made better. So I hope we have the first answer in already with a question mark, which probably means that she's not very sure about that one. But have a think about it, see what it could be. So somebody had a really good year, a sports person, and then they won a competition as well. So that's just, it was already a good year, it was at this level, and then that just takes it to the next level. Think about it like that. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So I'll give you a second for anybody else to try to complete this sentence. And I'm going to show you the correct answer in a minute. Michaela also says cake. Okay, so well done. You are correct. Oh, hi, Mila. Thank you for joining us. I was going to say nice to see you, but I can't actually see you. So that's the correct answer there. He has had a great year, but winning the trophy was really the icing on the cake. Yeah, so to be the icing on the cake. With each of these idioms, I'm going to tell you, what's the part that, the bigger part, the chunk of language that we really need to remember. And this one is to be the icing on the cake. Okay, if you're wondering what icing is, if you have a cake and you have like white, sugary coating on the outside of a cake, that's icing, in case you're wondering. So I couldn't explain that before without mentioning the word cake, which would give you the answer. Yeah, so it was the icing on the cake. It made a good situation even better. Good. I'm glad we got 2 correct answers there because I thought that was a difficult one to start with, but I'm glad we got some correct answers, so well done. Okay. Next one is this. Now, if you follow me on social media, you might have seen this because I posted this yesterday, I think it was. Or was it a couple of days ago? I'm not sure. Okay, so you had time to look at this one. And the example sentence is, you'll have something on your face if your plan doesn't work. So the meaning here is you'll feel stupid or embarrassed because of something that you did. Okay, so again, it's some kind of food that we're talking about here. You'll have it on your face. You won't actually have it on your face, obviously. This is an idiom, but you'll feel stupid or embarrassed because here, if your plan doesn't work. So imagine somebody says, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to manage all of these things, and then they don't do it. So how they feel after that. Yeah. And quite often we use this expression actually when somebody is boasting and someone's talking themselves up. They're going to say they're going to do all these great things, and then they don't do it. So they have something on their face at the end of it because it didn't work. Yeah. So they feel stupid or they feel embarrassed in that case. Or they feel, another way of thinking about it is that they feel regret about doing it. So it's quite a negative thing. Do we have any answers here? Anybody who wants to give this a go? No answers yet. Okay. I'll give it just a second and we'll see. In the meantime, I'll think about how much I need to go to the hairdressers. No idea. Maria Jose, okay. So let's have a look at the correct sentence. So it's, you'll have egg on your face if your plan doesn't work. You'll have egg on your face. So the expression is to have egg on your face. And notice it's not have an egg on your face. It's just you'll have egg on your face. Okay, so these are important things when we're learning these expressions, these idioms, that you can't really change it around too much. It has to be the correct version of it. So in this case, it's you'll have egg on your face. Okay. And as I said, it's, you regret something, you feel stupid, you feel embarrassed because of something you did or something you said in that case. Okay. Remember to tell me if you have any of these expressions in your own language, or if you have an expression which has the same meaning, you could translate it and share it with us. Obviously, don't put it up in your own language because we won't be able to understand it, but feel free to do that at any time during today's lesson. Okay, and let's have a look at the next one. Okay, so I love my new iPad. It's the best thing since sliced something. So again, it's a food or it could be a drink, but you don't get sliced drinks very often. So it's something that you can slice like that. Yeah. So I love my new iPad. It's the best thing since sliced something. So the meaning here is just simply it's fantastic. You love it. It's brilliant. Just all of those meanings. Yeah. And the expression here is it's the best thing since sliced something. So you need to remember that whole part. Or something is the best thing since sliced what. So I think you could maybe guess this one. I'm not sure if you have this in other languages, but think about something that you can cut into slices, that you can slice. Okay, does anybody have an answer that they would like to give us? No. Okay. So these are tricky idioms today by the looks of it. I just saw that you said it was sunny in Italy, Michaela. That's good. I'm glad for you. It makes such a difference when the weather is good. Okay, so I'm going to give you the correct answer here, and it is sliced bread. Love my new iPad. It's the best thing since sliced bread. So this just means it's fantastic. It's brilliant. You love it. The best thing. So something is, or it is, the best thing since sliced bread. You need that whole chunk of that for the idiom. It's the best thing since sliced bread. Okay. I wonder if you have that in your languages. Let me know. Okay. So after a good start, we've had a couple of tricky ones. Let's see the next one. And I think you can get this one. But let's see. Okay. So the sentence is working as a waiter. Don't have something very difficult. Okay. It's, maybe it's not difficult, but there's ones that you know and there's ones that you don't know. So there's no difficult ones. There's just ones you don't know. It's not the same thing. Okay, so working as a waiter is his bread and something, but he's also a musician. So the expression here is the meaning is a job you do to make the money you need. So that sounds a little bit funny, maybe that explanation, but what it means is it's like a job that you do just for the money, which suggests that you don't enjoy it or you don't see yourself doing that for a long time, that you have other ambitions. So this in this example here, the guy works as a waiter, but really he wants to be a musician, but he has to work as a waiter in order to make money to pay the rent. Okay, so we say this is his main way of making money. You can think about it like that. Oh, hi, Daryl from the Philippines. Thank you for joining us. That's very nice. What we're doing is looking at idioms with food. So I'm giving you some sentences, and in the gaps, you have to complete it with one word, which is a food or drink word, and it makes the expression. Okay, it makes the idiom with which has the meaning in brackets there. So feel free to join in and contribute your answers. They don't have to be correct answers. You can have guesses as well. That's definitely acceptable here. Okay, so we've got one answer here. Does anybody else want to give this a go? Let's see. No, okay, I'm going to give you the answer here. And Maria Jose, you're correct. It's butter. So working as a waiter is his bread and butter, but he's also a musician. So if you say something is your bread and butter, it's your main way of making money, but there is that part of the suggestion that it's not what you want to be doing, that you have something else you want to do, like you want to be a musician, but you can't make money that way. So you have to work as a waiter or you have to do something else. That's your bread and butter. Also, we can talk about a company's bread and butter, and there it would just be, their main way of making money. They do other things as well, but that's their bread and butter. So that's the thing which is most profitable for them. Okay, good. Let's have a look at the next one. What is it? Okay, I'm going to give you a clue with this one, in that the word, the food that we're going to use in this one, we've already had in today's lesson. Okay, so that should make it easy. So let's see, I expect quite a lot of correct answers in this case here. Okay, and a short sentence, and I think a lot of you may have heard this expression before, but let's see. Okay, learning idioms is a piece of something. Okay, remember it's a food stuff, something, a type of food that we have here, and the meaning is very easy, and we've had this word here already. Okay, lots of correct answers, well done. That's what I was expecting. There's another version of this expression as well, which is a little bit more rude, so we won't talk about that one today. But yes, you're correct. The answer, cake, is easy. Yes, cake. Okay. What do you have? How do you say that something is easy in your language? Let me know in the comments. In some languages they say, for example, it's like a roll with butter. We don't say that in English, but I know that from other languages. Or you can say something is a small beer as well, with the same meaning. But in English we tend to say piece of cake. Although I have heard some people in English say small beer with the same meaning, but traditionally that's not an English expression. So I wonder what you say in your languages for these things. But I say piece of cake is the most used idiom with that meaning in English for sure, I would say. Okay, so let's move on and have a look at the next one. There we go. Okay, so the next one is, I listened to the album, but their type of music isn't really my cup of something. So it's something you don't enjoy. And obviously we're talking about a cup of something here, so that should tell you that we're thinking about a drink in this case. So imagine a situation, you listen to an album and you say it's okay, but it's not really my kind of music, or it's not the kind of thing that I enjoy. Yeah. Interestingly, with this expression, we don't really use it in a positive sense. It's usually in a negative. We say something is not my cup of something, rather than, something is my cup of something. So, we use this quite more often with things you don't enjoy rather than things that you enjoy. It sounds a little bit unnatural if you use it in the positive sense. Yeah. Okay, lots of good answers coming in here. You hear it all the time. Okay, so that's good. I listened to the album, but their type of music isn't really my cup of tea. So it's something you don't enjoy. It's not my cup of tea. I don't really like it. You're not saying something is bad, but you're just saying I don't like it. It's not my cup of tea. It's not something that I normally enjoy. So quite often we use this with music or films or something that you can appreciate and talk about these things. Yeah, or hobbies and pastimes as well. We can use it when we're talking about those things. Yeah, you can say, I don't know, swimming isn't my cup of tea or something like that. But the important thing here is that more often than not we use it in that negative sense. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. He's usually quite lazy, but he's full of something today. And again, remember, we're talking about food here. And the meaning is to have a lot of energy. So, for example, I could use this sentence about my dog. because he's starting to get a little bit old and he is very lazy. He likes to lie about. He doesn't like to run about too much anymore. But sometimes, like yesterday, actually, he had more energy. He was running about. He was very energetic. So in that case, we say he's full of something, with that meaning of you've got a lot of energy. You're almost like hyperactive in that sense. So how could we say that? Sugar. That's a logical answer. Full of banana. I don't know why these answers are funny, because the correct answer is doesn't make a lot of sense. But sugar would make sense and is very logical, but unfortunately, it's not the answer. And banana doesn't work to Cefa as well. Even though if you have a banana, it does give you energy. If you have sugar, it gives you energy. But that's not the expression in English that we have. So the correct sentence is this. Yeah, it is very energetic. You're right. But the idiom that we have in English here is he's usually quite lazy, but he's full of beans today. Full of beans. To be full of beans means that somebody has a lot of energy, or something, I guess, like with my example with the dog. You couldn't use this about machines or anything. It has to be a living thing. You could use it about animals or people. So full of beans, to be full of beans means that you have a lot of energy. You feel very energetic. So that's what that means. It's a strange expression, actually, full of beans. I'm not sure it makes that much sense. Full of banana or full of sugar probably makes more sense, but that's the expression that we have in English, to be full of beans. Okay, let's go on and have a look at the next one. Here we go. You made a mistake, but there's no point crying over spilled something. And the meaning is get upset about something that can't be changed. So in this situation, imagine you made a mistake, something happened, and you feel bad about it. But what we're saying here is there's no point beating yourself up about it or feeling bad about it, because it's too late. You can't go back and change it. So don't worry about it. That's the meaning of this expression here. Actually, I would include that, there's no point crying over spilled and then the substance. Think about that all as an expression. Yeah. There's no point crying over spilled something. So we have one answer in already. Does anybody else want to give it a go? Well, it's the same in Spanish. Okay. That's interesting. I did not know that. And Daryl, don't know if that's the correct pronunciation of your name, Daryl. I hope it is. You can't tell me any otherwise, so I'll just have to go with that. Milk. Yes, everyone says milk. Okay, so there's the complete sentence there. You made a mistake, but there's no point crying over spilled milk. So the meaning is getting upset about something that can't be changed. Like I said, try to remember that full expression. There's no point crying over spilled milk. Yeah, because that's how we use that sentence, and it's a nice thing to say to somebody when they're worried or upset about something they did. And we can use it that way, just like it appears you have in your languages as well, or Spanish at the very least. Good. We're getting some more correct answers here, which is good. There's a couple that we're learning today as well, which is also very good. Let's have a look at the next one. I think we have 2 left before we get to our 10 expressions for today. Okay, so the next sentence is, I think you need to take what he says with a pinch of something. He never tells the truth. So the meaning here is not consider something to be 100% accurate or true. Okay, and remember, if you wonder what a pinch is like that. So you take something and that. So think about things, food stuff that you can take a pinch of. Okay. While we're waiting on the answers to these, please remember to like this video. Please subscribe to my channel, all of those usual things if you haven't already, and think about joining my Facebook group, Learning English with Alex, where I update on lots of different things when lessons are happening and things like that, if you haven't already. So we got one answer in already. Okay, I see the likes in the video have gone up, so thank you very much. It means a lot to me. Let's have a look at the correct answer here. Okay, so Daryl, you're correct. Well done. I think you need to take what he says with a pinch of salt. He never tells the truth. So to take something with a pinch of salt is like to be a little bit suspicious about it, or to think, is that really true? It's, you can imagine a situation where somebody is always saying all these things about themselves and, how good they are, all these things that they've done. And you think, really, is that really true? Did that really happen? So you take this with a pinch of salt. Or somebody says, they did something, they completed something, and you think, I'm not sure if I believe that. I'm going to take it with a pinch of salt. Yeah. So the meaning here is you're a bit suspicious, you're a bit unsure if this person is telling the truth, if it's 100% accurate or 100% true. You think to yourself, nah, I don't think that's true, actually. So that's the meaning of that one there. Okay, and our last idiom with food in it for today is this. Okay, I'm something about that new series on Netflix. And the meaning here is I really like it. So it's a food stuff here. Yeah, in plural, and the meaning is, it's like I'm crazy about it, I'm mad about it, I really like it. That's the meaning that we're going for here. Yeah. So how could we say that with a type of food involved in it in this case? What do you think? What could the answer be? Does anybody want to give us an answer? Good. Remember about the preposition to go with this as well, so it's to be something, the word about something. It really helps if we learn these things together. The bigger piece of language as you can learn as possible is really good. So you're learning the connections rather than individual words. That's why learning idioms, learning collocations, and bigger pieces of language can really help you to sound more natural and sound more fluent. And all of these idioms today I picked because they're actually used. Sometimes idioms go out of fashion a little bit. Sometimes they can be, some ones can be a little bit old-fashioned if you're looking at an old book about idioms or something like that. But these are all ones that are really used all the time by native speakers and advanced speakers of English as well. So they are useful to know. Okay, so Maria Jose has an answer, and let's see if she's right. Of course she is. Okay, so I'm nuts about that new series on Netflix. So the idiom to be nuts about something means I really like it. I'm crazy about it. I think it's great. Yeah, I'm nuts about it. You can also say that the new series on Netflix is the best thing since sliced bread, like one of our previous idioms. Okay, so we had 10 idioms there related to food with a variety of different meanings. I'm glad you got some of them. I'm glad also that you didn't get some of them, because that means that we're learning something here today, which is good. Idioms can be difficult to remember, can be even more difficult to use. So try to, remember the context of the sentences we had here. You can try them out. You can read about these idioms to try and understand them a little bit more, and try them yourself as well, because that's how we integrate it into our language, and that's how we eventually use it. It's difficult. Daryl, you did really well. I think you got most of them correct. So it didn't seem that difficult for you, actually. practice is it was not a piece of cake. Exactly, practice is the most important thing. If you would like to practice these sentences, if you'd like to come up with your own idioms, then this video will go onto YouTube. You can write some comments in there, write the practice sentences, and I'll correct them for you. I'll let you know if you're using them well. That's a good way to, the best way to know if you understand it correctly is to really use it. So as soon as we're finished here, then this video will go up and you can put some comments. Very difficult, Josefa. Okay, it just means that you're learning. So don't cry over spilled idioms. Does that work? No, that doesn't work. Don't cry over spilled milk. Yeah. So even though there was some mistakes here, no, there was lots and lots of correct answers as well. So well done to everybody, and thank you for taking part today. Okay, so that's everything for today. Thank you very much for joining me as always. Next week there will be another live lesson. I might even do 2 live lessons I might do one on Tuesday and Thursday if I can, but everything will be posted on social media and obviously on YouTube as well. So take care, have a nice weekend, and I hope to see you next week. Bye, guys.